Jim O'Rourke is an American musician, composer, music producer, singer, and songwriter based in Tokyo, of all places. He has worked with lots of people. He has been part of the band Sonic Youth. He's done a lot of production work. He's worked with production for Sonic Youth, for Smog, who's also known as Bill Callahan, Joanna Newsom, Wilco. The list of names on the Wikipedia page for him that he's been involved in collaborations with or done production work for is hugely impressive. Tracking down any kind of comprehensive tracking down a comprehensive I still can't get it out. A comprehensive discography for him is quite difficult because he's been pretty prolific.
Hi, my name's Dan. So this is an album by Jim O'Rourke. I normally start by saying which number album it is in somebody's oeuvre. What's the right word? Catalogue. Yeah. With Jim O'Rourke, that doesn't seem to be possible. So I can't. This is my first listen to this album, I think. So actually, I'm pretty sure of that now. So there was the thing that made me wonder if I'd heard the album before, which is the first track on the album, which is called, let me just get it, Prelude to 110 or 220 / Women of the World. And I know it. I was pretty sure that I had heard it before. In fact, possibly several times. It's got a lot of repetition in it, so it's very easy to remember and recognise. But that made me think, so have I heard this album before? Have I reviewed it before? And I went and looked at my blog that I used to use to review albums. No, that hadn't happened. Maybe, okay, sometimes this happens when I've heard a cover of a song, or this is a cover of a song that I've heard before. Well, I know that this was written by, jointly written by Jim O'Rourke and Ivor Cutler, so I'm guessing that the phrase that's repeated is Ivor Cutler, and he's set it to music. I looked to see if I could find anybody who's covered it. No, I can't find any evidence of a cover of this track anywhere. And then it clicked, and I know exactly where it is that I've heard it before. It was on a compilation CD from a magazine, and I went and found it, which is Uncut Magazine, to be precise, and it was the first track on the album, on the CD that they called Unconditionally Guaranteed 3. That's where I remember it from. So, back to the album. Right. One of the reasons for pontificating here is because this album is not easy to describe. I'm going to have a go, though. I'm certainly not going to try and throw a genre out there because it defies genre. So it's an odd combination of stuff that's songs, which are kind of almost folk-like songs, like early 70s folk with long singy sections in it, done with kind of vocal backing. I can't remember who did I Like to Teach the World to Sing, but that kind of thing. Or, sometimes, kind of We Shall Not Be Moved kind of stuff. With occasional kind of more Jeff Buckley kind of moments. It's got this feeling of kind of freedom, of restraint to it. And there's quite a bit of that, but there's other things as well. There's post-rocky stuff that sounds like, that uses classical instruments, and in the list of people who played on this, there's quite a lot of instrumentalists, strings, and I believe woodwind as well, if I remember rightly. And then there's a bit that's kind of with electronic noises, almost like noise like a sweeping sine waves that are kind of overlapping and out of tune and creating some strange textures in there. And then there's other unusual things, like, so there's a bit where somebody's playing a shaker. It's like this, and it does it for about a minute, and that's all there is. And this is one of the transitions between two of the tracks. In fact, towards the beginning of the album, there's quite a lot about different percussion going on in there. And I've almost certainly not picked out all the elements that are in here. They're the things that I remember and I make notes of. It's eclectic and weird, and somehow with that quite engaging. I do feel like I could take 1 minute sections from various places on this album and play them to somebody and say, and then say, and they're all on the same album, and they would be amazed because it really does change feel and style that much from different parts. So it's a very, very odd album in that sense. It's also got very odd album art. So sometimes when you get albums, um, particularly kind of compilation albums, they just feel like a collection of songs. But most albums are put together with a kind of transitions of feels, and they have high points and low points, and it works as a journey to go through the album. Some of the concept albums can do this best. Um, this album does have that kind of feel of an arc, but it's not a normal arc, and especially I'd say it ends oddly. It's got a really weird bit at the end. It feels like it isn't finishing it off. Feels like you left kind of in the middle of nowhere, as it were. Um, um, yeah. Uh, so, what do I think of it? Well, I'm going to come back. I'm actually going to have a little bit of a stab at a genre, which is to shrug my shoulders and say maybe it's art rock, and maybe it's that because it's being artistic in what it's doing. Did I enjoy it? This is kind of down to the bottom line here, isn't it? Yeah, I did. I actually quite enjoyed it quite a lot. Did I get it? No, I didn't really understand it. That doesn't mean that I didn't enjoy it. Obviously, I've just said I enjoyed it. So there we go. That's what I feel of this album. As normal, I'd like to invite you to tell me what you think of the album. So please, could you do that for me by leaving me a comment in the comments? And that's it from me for now.